Good morning, gamers. Today I'm going to be making a circular cape. I expect this to take me about 2 hours, not including hemming it. I'll do that tomorrow. And to be really easy. It was not, in fact, easy. I started out, as one always should, by cleaning my studio. For Christmas this year, I bought myself 5 meters of a green wool tweed-like material, and as I tried on various capes I already owned, I contemplated what this one was going to be like. I decided it was going to be full circular with a deep, deep hood. So this cape here is one I got on a charity shop somewhere, and it's got a very wide neckline. I love the hood, it's so deep, but it's actually got this very wide sort of boat-shaped neckline with fairly small shoulders, and the hood of it acts like a collar, which is great, and I kind of want to copy that. Yeah. Step 1 in this process is to gain access to the largest pattern cutting table you can possibly find. Because what we're doing, really, is cutting a circle. It's a circular cape. We're making a big circle. It should be easy, right? Well, to start with, I have some fabric which is about 150 centimeters wide, so I'm laying that on top of each other. I'm going to cut, well, I'm going to attempt to cut 2 big semicircles and join them together on the back. Here's where they start to trick you. I am 175 centimeters tall. Any cape that's going to cover me from shoulder to ground level needs to be at least 150 centimeters long. 5 meters is not going to quite be enough to cover this, but it's fine, I tell myself. It's fine, I tell the cashier, and she says, "Are you certain that 5 meters is enough for what you need?" Yeah, I could just piece it together. But what about the hood? Because I definitely know that I wanted a big deep hood, and these pieces that I'm so precariously pinning onto the end of my semicircles, I kind of needed those to make the hood. So what's going to happen here is that we're going to end up with a almost but not quite circular cape, and the pieces that are left and the other pieces that are also left, we're gonna have to just kind of hope that all those can piece together into a nice deep hood the way I want it to be. So I'm starting off here by tracing off the shape of the hood from the cape that I want to copy, and I notice that it has a dart on each side, so I think that I can extend those to the top and create a sort of 4-piece hood, and then hopefully if I have 4 pieces, each of those pieces will be able to fit on one of my scraps. Now I did end up moving those seams forward a bit, purely based on the size of the scraps that I had on hand. It was sort of a very interesting way of working to allow the material shapes that I have to determine what my pattern is going to be, but it makes a lot of sense and it saved on material a whole lot, and actually it looks completely fine. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. So let's get piecing then, shall we, lads? Apart from, once the piecing is done, the only actual seam in this cloak is the back seam, and I'm not even, this fabric isn't fray, it's a tightly woven wool, it's almost felted together. I'm not even finishing these seams, I'm simply leaving them as is. The part where things get a little tricky here is the hood. Now, medieval cloaks would have had the hood as a separate garment, not attached. Attaching the hood is potentially complicated, especially since I want it to be really wide, really deep, really full. So we're just going to figure that out on the fly, on the mannequin. We're just going to see what happens here. So what I did was draw the neckline of the cloak that I wanted to copy onto my cloak in tailor's chalk, and then I proceeded to just tack the hood along that line. I had to do a lot of gathering by eye, but once I was, satisfied that it looked good both on the mannequin and on me, I then removed the hood and steamed it into shape. To shrink it, you just do a gathering stitch, gather that slightly, and then hit it with loads and loads of steam. yeah, and so once I'd stitched it into place, I sort of pseudo felled it down, in which I did a sort of felling stitch but didn't bother folding it out because this fabric's not frayy, it's not bulky, and it's gonna be fine. And then I left it alone to chill out, to just hang there, to stretch itself out in the bias for 3 days before coming back and trimming it so it's level to the ground. This process mostly involves just lying on the floor. By the way, these knitwear products that I am wearing, such as the snakeskin jacket and the star hat, you can actually purchase these from my website. There, of course, will be a link in the description, and you should go and check it out. Buy some things, support me as a creator. Okay, anyway, sponsored part over. Let's get on with the show. The show that remains at this point is pretty much just the hem, and it may come as no surprise to any of you that the hem of this fully circular 1.5 meter radius cloak is 9 meters. So of course I will be machining that, but before I machine it I'm going to iron the hem into place. There's no pins involved in this process. I'm using the kind of qualities of the wool to steam it into shape and make sure that there's no weird wrinkles when it goes through the machine, and if there are any weird wrinkles I can iron them out afterwards, and then it's a matter of minutes on my industrial machine. Mwah, you love to see it. The finishing touches after that is just to hand stitch down the hem of the hood. Now, let's take this thing for a walk, shall we? Oh no! Go down! Oh no! Okay, and it's going in my pocket. It's not gonna fall out. Alright. Well folks, here's to not losing your phone in a forest. And if you want to see any of the other content that I make using that phone, you can find me everywhere on the internet at Sarah McCostumes, SARAHMCC Costumes. And well, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, don't comment. Well, actually, unless you're after sewing tips, in which case feel free to comment and I will happily give them to you. Ta-ta!